Hi guys, welcome to the fourth instalment of Totally Speedway's Q&A. About half an hour ago I had Tim Saville, the CEO or the General Manager of Speedway Australia, so you can catch that. That's free to view now. So quite a very busy night sort of thing, so sorry starting a little bit late. But yeah, here we are. So from your Speedway questions, we've got the biggest night of the year, or biggest weekend of the year when it comes to Speedway across the world in the Knoxville Nationals. So yeah, to be looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully the Aussies can get up, so cheering on Kerry Madsen and co. But yeah, hopefully there's another upset. Regardless if it's not an Australian winning, I hope it's an upset like last year when Jason Johnson beat Donny Schatz fair and square. So yeah, so let me know your tips. I'm running a competition on Facebook. I started that earlier this week. So so looking forward to that. Getting a lot of answers. I've got about 70 requests. So the competition, the winner who picks, or the person that picks the top three or gets the closest with it from Saturday night's Knoxville Nationals A main, plus with picking the highest Australian finisher or starter in the out of the Australians for the A main on Saturday night. So we'll win a $500 marketing package from my company Redline Media. So that'll include media release, social media management, and a lot of advice in that. So yeah, looking forward to that. It's been well received so far. So get your actually tips in, and you could potentially win a prize. So the first question I've got here from Jess Hurrell: who is the Queen of Knoxville and where is she from? Oi, oi, oi. Not sure about that. That'll be announced very shortly, I think. So the Knoxville Nationals starts tomorrow. So it'll start around mid-morning here in Australia. So that'll be night one. So that'll be the Wednesday. So last year we had Michaela Dumsney from Sydney, who's living in Indiana now, with her partner, sprint car legend or racer and former Knoxville Nationals winner, Craig Kinzer. So it'd be interesting. So hopefully, she does well, but not sure with that. So it'd be great to know that. So, and Michaela Dumsney. So that's been confirmed by Jeff. So well done. So it's great to have that. Should be the first Australian winner of the Queen of Knoxville. So that's pretty awesome. So so Warren Cox from Victoria down there. I would love to see. He would love to see Kyle Larson win. Donny Schatz, Kerry Madsen, top. Yep. So, that'd be cool. Kyle Larson, he's certainly in good form. Whatever he races to win, and he certainly don't know whether that's in NASCAR or on the Speedway, in a midget or a sprint car. So he certainly had a lot of runs on the board, so I wouldn't discount that. Jono Butler, Joshua Butler. It was her this year. So, okay, thanks for confirming that. So, Michaela Dumsney, so she's from Australian Speedway royalty in the Dumsney family. So, she was announced as the winner. So, Mark Walters, we've got a question here. Is Brooke Tatnall going to compete this season? Not 100% sure about that one. So, so we've got there. So with that, so I'm not sure what Brooke's going to be doing. He was in negotiations with a prominent team here in Australia, but they fell to the wayside. So I'm not sure what's happening in terms of what Brooke will be doing. So it'll be interesting. So so Warren Cox is here, first international winner actually of the Miss Knoxville Nationals. So that's wonderful. It's great, and hopefully that's the start of Knoxville, success for the Australians at the Knoxville Nationals this Saturday night. So heading on form, heading into the Knoxville Nationals, your favourites, obviously. One of the favourites, Donny Schatz, you got Brad Sweet, Joey Sultana, all those other guys. Kerry Madsen's in great form running for the number 2 team. So that's the car that Danny Lasowski, a former multiple Knoxville Nationals winner, drove last season. So Kerry's had some great runs there. Ian Madsen, he released his car during the yeah, a couple of days ago. It looks fabulous. So the red and the blue. So yeah, hopefully he's had some good form so far this year. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully he can go well. So yeah. So what we've got here. Yeah. So yeah, throw your questions here. I'll love to talk about the Knoxville Nationals. Yeah. So what we've got here. Danny Holden from Adelaide. He's Mr. Know-It-All in South Australia, mate. You do some fabulous work, mate. So what you don't know about Speedway in South Australia is worth knowing. So well done, Danny. In media times like today, are race teams better off with a Facebook page or dedicated websites? Seems to me Facebook has a wider instant reach. Yeah, that's an interesting one. We've got, like naturally in my field, like obviously I play a big part in the media and it's my business. Facebook, yes, it's great for instant stuff, but we've got also Facebook. Facebook's relevant, yes, for instant stuff, but I think websites still play a part. With Facebook, it's a cookie cutter. So what you get with Facebook is what everyone's got in terms of what you look at, similar to Twitter, similar to Instagram. So in terms of actually, yeah, a website, and I deal with a lot of teams. I do numerous websites for numerous teams and tracks for that matter. So in terms of having a website and actually getting that through is a big part, because a website can be built tailored to what you would like and what would you need. Websites, it's great. With Facebook, you know, it's a constant rolling of statuses and all Facebook, all social media for that matter. What we've got there, so with a website, you can put the calendar, you can put the driver information, the sponsors. That's a big thing. Like, it's all well and good to tag them in on posts, but also driving traffic to their websites through your website, which you can do. You can promote your website through social media as well, but actually having that where a sponsor can engage and have links, logos, and all those sort of things in the one spot on the phone, links to calendars, team information. It's just the one stop, where Facebook is more of a revolving status. So status, once you put one up, it just goes down. But going to a website still is relevant, because, you know, you can put so much on there and you can have so many people on there. So yeah, so hopefully, Danny, that answers your question. But I think a bit of both. And I think people in Speedway, particularly here in Australia, focus entirely on social, like Facebook in particular, but forgetting about websites and the benefits that can be with that. So yeah, like Facebook's a huge part, but I think websites and other social media forms certainly play a part. So it's a matter of getting that balance. So, you know, like when you've got stairs, but then when the elevators came in, they didn't replace stairs. You've still got stairs, so they go hand in hand. Same with cars. You know, all those sort of things. Even those other forms of transport, you've still got, they both coexist. So you've got, you know, trains, planes, all those sort of things. So in terms of that, so yeah, but I think, yeah, both, although social media is a huge instant, but so is the websites as well. So yeah, Danny, hopefully that answers your question. I've got a question here from Warren Cox again. What are your thoughts on World Series this year, and do you know the contracted drivers? Yeah, World Series this year, I've just been speaking for the last couple of hours with Tim Saville, the CEO, or the General Manager of Speedway Australia, and also, plays a big part with Speedway Australia owning World Series and running it. They've got 20 nominated drivers in terms of putting contracts where they've put money down as a deposit. So that's huge, considering last year there was only six drivers that were contracted. So you had the Cricket Motorsport team with Brooke Tatwell, their driver. You had James McFadden with the Monty Motorsport team. You had Jamie Veal with his own team. You had Daniel Harding, you had Andrew Wright, and you had Jason Pride. So there were your 6 contracted drivers. Now we've got interest from 20 potential teams. Not saying that they're all going to get across the line, but they've put their deposit down to signal their interest. So that's really exciting. The calendar's been announced, so it's huge. They've really condensed. They haven't stretched World Series across like they have in the past. So it's really been stretched out, but now they've condensed it, starting with Boxing Night. I think that's a great thing, where they can go forward and the teams aren't stretched out throughout the year, especially when you're traveling a lot. You've got teams that rely on volunteers. There's only a handful of paid team members in Australian Speedway for sprint car teams, so it makes it really hard. So I think World Series, it's looking to be one of its best seasons, if not its best. And certainly with the calendar condensed, the amount of driver interest, and it's cool. So in terms of the contracted drivers, so far you've got Lockie McHugh from Queensland. So he's been a revelation since stepping into sprint cars 2 seasons ago. And he also, last season celebrated by winning a preliminary feature race win of World Series in the Australian Open, where he beat the best of the best. So that was awesome. He comes on board, so that experience on the road is going to be massive for him, and it's going to be exciting to see the young talent. Another young driver, Jai O'Keefe from Warrnambool. He had his season last season brought to a premature end due to a crash and a back injury. So hopefully, he's obviously good to go now, and he has been announced as a contracted driver. So it'll be great. It'll be great if, there'll be more drivers announced shortly, but it's really awesome to have those 2 drivers on there. Lockie McHugh certainly showed a lot of talent. Qualified for the Australian title last season. So, and he's done numerous others, and he's driving well beyond his years. People forget that he's only 18, and the fact that he's mixing it with veterans that have been racing longer than he's been alive. Like I remember speaking with Andrew Shirley up there, who's been racing for the last 2 decades up in Queensland, and he said, Lockie McHugh's going to be something special. He's doing stuff that and you wouldn't see for his age. So so we've got there. With that, Mark Walters, I can't afford pay-per-view. Any chance for free-to-air live stream on YouTube? Mark, you don't see free-to-air TV. It's really not attainable for Speedo because the return on investment and the money that's outlaid cannot. You just can't get a return on it. You can't get enough sponsors. And in my opinion, I don't think TV has helped with the people. Helped promote the sport as much as what people thought. So that's interesting from that point of view. So in terms of having free-to-air TV, I don't think that's attainable at the moment. Live streamed on YouTube, I don't think, that's possible. Like you get the live videos from Facebook, but that's probably the best you're going to get unless you have people. Streaming it via their phones, unless you're going to pay for it. So I'm sorry, Mark, but the best thing, and I'm not sure where you are based, but getting to the track and seeing the action, and obviously that's not for some people in regional areas or cost-wise they can't get out to the track, but there's nothing beats being there, and all the coverage in the world is not going to, substitute for being there. So, so we've got that, but in terms of, Facebook, is people doing Facebook Live and all those sort of things. So it depends on what you taste. If you're into sprint cars, you've got pay-per-view, but if you don't, I think it's, you're going to have to rely on live results and, Facebook Live and that. So, so we've got that. So we've got Warren King. It all sounds good, and it should be a Premier Series in Australia. Yep, no, that's positive. There's a lot of young up-and-coming drivers in Queensland. There's Joshua Butler, you're right there. So we've got guys like Lockie McHugh, but you've got youngsters like Dylan Menz, you've got Cody Morosky, who only competed in half the season last year, and done really well and was really starting to get some competitive results and only get better. So youngsters like that. You've got a young female charger in Christy Bonzi who races out of her skin in a car that in a smaller engine compared to the big 410 bangers. So she does well for what she's got, and she's one of her highlights of her career last season was winning a World Series feature race, World Series heat race, sorry. So and then you've got Callum Walker, of course. So he got his first podium last season, and he's got a good pedigree behind him. So, so Queensland's certainly got a lot of young talent coming through, and you just have to look at places like, junior Formula 500s, even Formula 500s, and seeing the youngsters that are coming there. We're talking second, third generation drivers that are coming through, really young ones. So, will be no doubt that's going to expand. You've got not only Formula 500s and junior Formula 500s, you've got the two Kelly siblings in lightning sprints going really well. You've got a guy up there, Kurt Wilson. He's in his mid-20s, junior sedan prodigy. He's won pretty much everything there is to win in lightning sprints. So there's, budget obviously holds him back, but it'd be interesting to see a youngster like Kurt Wilson behind the wheel of a sprint car. So we've got here Warren Cox saying we've raced against Jai for the last 2 seasons. He's going to surprise a lot of people. Yep, I can't agree with that more. It's going to be interesting to see how Jai goes travelling outside Victoria. He's done a lot of racing. Yeah, within Victoria and travelled a bit back in his Formula 500 days. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, he gets out there and shows a lot because he's certainly not lacking speed. So, yeah, it'll be great to see. Sam Craig from Tasmania, what are the contents of a Chico roll? I know, Google it, Sam, I don't know. But tell me what's happening in Tasmania. There's a lot of good things going down there. You've got World Series returning, so it'd be interesting and exciting to see what Tassie does next season. So, yeah, so we've got Joshua Dingo down here, Callum Walker. Yeah, but keep the questions rolling. I've been, really looking at it. It's been a busy night, so we're only finishing work and then having Tim Saville, so it's been great to have him and for him to come on board and answer any questions. So there's a lot of misconceptions out there or, stuff about Speedway Australia, so it's good to have him, the general manager, come on and really open up and answer your questions. So it's all about, and that's what I do this thing. I'm going to be trying to get drivers to do more interviews. So I've got Tim in here live, but if I can get a couple of more people and do this weekly and then do my Q&A, that'd be great. So, yeah, so we've got Jason Foe here. SSA do really good live video on Facebook. They certainly do. So the Speedway Sedans Australia live team done a fantastic job. They also won an award at the awards night for Speedway Australia, so for Innovation of the Year. So, Jason Crowe and, all the team there do a great job. Jared Ash, of course, he's the brains behind it all. And, him and Crowe really complement each other. So, so we've got there. So, no, that's awesome. And, we just need to have more people like Ash Media. It makes it hard because Jared's really kicking some butt out there and doing some great things to help promote the sport via his videos and that. But it's hard when he's just one person. We need to have a few more duplicates, and that'd be great if he could get a few people under his wing to try and foster them so we can have more people that can provide, coverage that the SSA do. So that'd be great, Jason. So, so Warren Cox, what are your thoughts on V8 wingless sprints? What have we got? Where do you start with that? I think V8 wingless sprints are awesome in America. I've seen them live. They're awesome. The racing, is outstanding. And the drivers that have come through, Dave Darlin, obviously the late Brian Clausen. And the amount of the racing that you see there. But in Australia, I don't think, I'm not sure. And if you get the support of the drivers and, the V8 wingless sprints need to get out there and get on the track. So it'd be interesting to see, what happens. With the V8 wingless sprints, you've got a mob in Victoria. They recently had a practice run, I think, at Redline Raceway in Ballarat. But then you've got the mob over in West Australia, who are affiliated with USAC, and in Queensland as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. But these guys have been going a long time, but there's been a lot of controversy in the meantime, and to the point where the SSA has put out a letter saying that drivers will be banned if they're running cars and all that. So so with that, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. The proof's in the numbers and the support, and we'll see what happens. So Shay Kiri, what's your opinion on the KMS splitting with Brooke Tatnam? They certainly didn't have a great year last year with Brooke. He ended up winning a round of World Series. He won the Bunbury round. He ended up third in the Classic, in the Grand End Classic Premier Speedo. It was passed late by local Darren Molyneux. but yeah, I think they just came to the end of the road. Nothing's forever. Brooke drove for them for well over a decade. So in terms of having, I think nothing's forever, and yeah, the split. Obviously Brooke wasn't happy with it, but something that Ryan Cricky, the team manager, had to do. So they did that. In terms of getting Jamie Veal, I think it was an actual. It was just a coincidence when a driver like Jamie Veal, who is scarred back or shut down his own team, like his local team here in Australia, in order to focus on America, which is currently over there competing this weekend, Knoxville Nationals. So in terms of when a driver of the calibre of Jamie Veal comes on the market, then why wouldn't KMS go for that? So so it would be awesome to see. It's really exciting. It'd be interesting to see. It's a pretty lethal combination where last season, the Monty Motorsport team and James McFadden really schooled everyone and really dominated, and the Cricky team, they've been the leading team for many years, and it hurt them to the point where it hurt Jamie Veal too. He'd come off the previous season of that having a dominant, but then following season just McFadden just in another league where they comfortably won World Series, the Classic, and numerous other events that they won. So so it'd be great to see, because there's both of these both the Cricky Motorsport team and Jamie Veal are hungry for success, and what a combination when both driver and team are on the same page and as hungry as each other. Not saying that Brooke Chandler was not, he's got enthusiasm and hunger like no tomorrow, but it's going to be really good to see what the Cricky Motorsport team and Jamie Veal can do. And a lot of people might not know that 2 seasons ago, Jamie made a cameo appearance for the Cricky team at the Perth Motorplex and ended up coming away with a win. So there's certainly, Jamie was able to get on the pace straight away with them. So, Jamie, back in turn, how are the boys from the Extreme Sprint guys going with the new track? I'm not sure. We haven't heard anything there. I think that might have been a bit of a joke in terms of they've released in recent times, they've released a Sprint Car Simulator. So I think that was in reference to that. So so I don't think there ever was an actual physical track, but I think the actual simulator as a sprint car was what they were referring to. Okay, so we've got here Chris Wilkinson. How do smaller races approach potential sponsors? Most seem to be sponsored by either family or people they know. Hard to attract new businesses to Speedway. Well, Chris, to answer that question, it's about going in there with open eyes and building relationships with potential sponsors. You can't just go up to people and just go, okay, I want $1,000 of sponsorship. I'm going in there and going, can I have a product sponsor? Or just going in there and going, are you interested? Even putting together, like, a big part of my business is putting together a sponsorship proposal, but not everyone can afford that. I totally get that and totally understand that. So in terms of putting together a proposal, it could be sending an email, it could going in and actually simply introducing yourself to a potential sponsor, like going in and spending something at their shop and building a relationship and then posing the question. You can't just go in and go, okay, I want sponsorship or I want to talk to you. You've got to go then, you've got a message, so to speak, and go in there and just, make yourself known and just build a relationship and then ask. You can't just go in and ask, give, like take, without giving a little. So going in there and just talking to a potential sponsor, seeing, I know it's hard, and the majority of Speedo teams seem to be sponsored by either family or people they know, but it's about branching, putting yourself out there. You can't just have a race car. You can't have a race car and then just expect to go, okay, people are going to sponsor it. It's not going to work. You've got to go out there. You've got to be a likable person. You've got to create value. It's a whole different thing where you just can't just expect because you've got a race car, you're going to get sponsors. So, So, Chris, hopefully that answers your question. So what we've got here, I want to Cox, the WA Mob did, I think, at Red Line last weekend, and they're saying it's all go. So, So it'll be interesting. Marcus Rumsey, where will Parramatta be in 10 years? Eastern Creek since the 80s, Badgery Creek since the 70s, rumours and plans never seem to eventuate. Marcus, that's a good question. I can't... If Parramatta was to close, and I'm not saying that that is going to happen, but if it was, I think it'd be hard to find a replacement in Sydney. Like, yeah, Eastern Creek would be the only option, but whether that can... It's going to have to come with a lot of money. So, yeah, so it'll be interesting. But, you know, and as we know, you know, I was speaking to someone in the office today, and they were saying, oh, they went past and they saw the track, and they're like, oh, that land would be worth a lot of money. It's owned by the Granville Sports Trust. So I don't know what would happen in 10 years. Hopefully the track's still there. I can't see a reason why it wouldn't, unless a big offer was made to purchase the land. But it's getting, Sydney's getting bigger and bigger, and more businesses are expanding. So who knows? But Valvoline Raceway, Sydney's Valvoline Raceway, has a huge history. It's been there since 1977. So it'd be a shame. I grew up there. I spent most of my childhood there. You know, from the early ages up until now. I love going there. It's my second home. So in terms of the only alternative would be Eastern Creek, but it'd be tough with noise. You know, I'm trying to slot something new into Sydney. Like as Tim Saville, when I was doing the interview with him just before, he was saying that a lot of tracks, it's easy to save tracks and to build new ones. There's a lot of people wanting to build new divisions, but they're not wanting to open new tracks, and that should say something. So it's tough. So I think the most recent track to be built in Australia was probably Heartland Raceway back in 2004, 2005. I think that was the newest track to be built in Australia. I might be wrong. Someone will obviously correct me if not. So hopefully, Parramatta or PCR, even though it's known as Sydney's Valvoline Raceway now, I'll always know it as PCR to me. So Robert Jordan, the owner of the Extreme Springers, was on Springhouse Central saying that the track is getting closer to being open. So, not sure. Dale Matthews isn't a guy that messes about. He most of the time says what he says he does. So it'd be interesting. So, until he proves me otherwise, I can't see why I wouldn't, believe what he's saying. So, it'd be just wait and see, Robert. So, Declan Brownsley. With the amount of Australians heading over to America for late model racing, wouldn't America versus Australia test match like the old Grand Nationals be something in the sport and would help exposure to guys heading over there? Declan, good question. Late model racing is awesome. It's one of my favourite classes. I love sprint cars, but I love late models, just the raw power and the beast of the cars. And, they're great. And street stocks are awesome too. So I put them front. So in terms of an American versus Australia test match, it'd be pretty cool, like to have the likes of Darren Kane, Callum Harper, the current Australian champion, Jamie Oldfield, Craig Vosbergen, and co, and Paul Stubber. So to get a late model test, but in terms of Americans, it's a tough ask to get them to come out. Money wise, we've had Steve Francis over the last couple of years or in recent years come over, but we've had Moran. So, young Moran. So he's come over a few times to run for the Nicastri team. So, but in terms of getting a whole group of them over, it'd be pretty awesome. But you'd want to get how awesome would it be to have Scott Bloomquist or Jamie Owens? Jamie Owens, he came over and ran a super sedan a couple of years down in Tasmania. So not a late model. So it all comes down to money. Those guys run it as a business. So in terms of getting Americans in late models to come over, it'd be tough. Probably some lesser known guys that might want to come over, but it'd be awesome to have some of the big guns, but that comes at a cost. Donny Schatz doesn't come over for nothing, and vice versa. All those other guys. So yeah, with that. So it'd be interesting. That'd be pretty cool to see, but it would just be a matter of if someone could put up the money or put up the cars. It's all a balance of everything. These guys might want to bring their own cars out and then sell them off to here. Like that's doable, but yeah, it all comes down to whether someone could broker the deal. But with a lot of Australians going over there, like this season, we've already had, we've had. So you've had Craig Volksbergen's currently over there, Paul Stubber, he's over there. You've had Kai Blight, who's been over there crewing, got an opportunity to drive as well. We've got a couple of late model youngsters that have gone over there pit crewing. So guys like Ryan Fennick, Cameron Pearson, and yeah, those sort of guys are coming over there. You had Carter Armstrong from Queensland spent. You've had Todd Bailey from Sydney. So all these guys are going over getting experience, but also building contacts. So hopefully that the contacts that these guys are building might allow these drivers to want to come over, and not bring a big price tag with them. But who knows? So it'll be interesting. So yeah, with that. So so we've got Marcus Romsey, Badgerys Creek would be okay, 24-hour curfew, especially with an airport going there. So that's growing, but Badgerys Creek, Marcus is surrounded by a lot of housing now, and it's only going to get worse as they push out. So, yeah. So what we've got there. Where is World Series at driver-wise for this upcoming season? So that's from Mick. Mick, in terms of where drivers are at, so a couple of drivers have already been announced. As I was saying earlier, Lockie McHugh and from Queensland, and Jai O'Keefe from Victoria down in Warrnambool. So they've been announced. They're saying, Tim was telling me earlier, when it comes down to that there's 20 drivers that have paid a deposit. So they were looking at 20 drivers as a contracted driver for this season. And I don't think, like I was having this conversation with Tim Sobel earlier tonight, and I don't think World Series has had a bigger amount of contract drivers. I think they've had a dozen's been the most, but anything more than that. So that's pretty cool considering last year they went from nothing, and they were 6, not nothing, but 6 teams to now have 20 potentially contracts where they've actually paid the deposit down. So that's really exciting, and it shows that they're doing some good things. So we've got Jamie Tusk. What are you doing? What are doing for country tracks? I'm not sure where that question, the whole run of that, but in terms of, from my point of view, I do a lot for the country tracks. I'm thinking that's your question. That's how it's run at me. With that, so with the country tracks and that, so I've done a lot in terms of promotion and working with them, and for many years, coming from when I first started the business, Redline Media, back 13 odd years ago. So been promoting that, and obviously for Totally Speedway when it was a printed magazine from 2009 through to March 2015. Done a lot of promotion for the country tracks, work with them, and still will work with them now to help them promote and give them advice. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help the sport grow, and also so that's good. So Mark Charge, you the question, what are the dates? I will just check there. I am just typing as we go. World Series Sprint Cars. I will just check. I thought that. So I'm just looking at the screen as we go. So we've got. Okay, so the World Series. Okay, right, so got there, just double checking here, so whether this is really live, because I'm looking, so we've got action tender. Okay, so nothing, as far as I can, nothing has officially been announced in terms of the dates for the calendar. So so we've got that, but I'll just do some more. I will just look on the Hobart Speedway website. Mountain Solo Hobart Speedway now. Let's look on their calendar to see. Okay, so their calendar, they're 18. That's sitting here, just scrolling down. Okay, so World Series, the dates here for World Series at Gulf Western and Independent Oils Raceway. That's Latrobe, so that's down for February 2nd and 3rd. And then the following weekend, which is Saturday night, February 10, there's a World Series at Solo Hobart Speedway. So February 2 and 3 at Latrobe, so that's Gulf Western Independent Oils Raceway. It's quite a mouthful. And then one night at Hobart, or Solo Hobart Speedway. That's the Saturday night, February 10. So, Mark, I hope that answers your question, and good luck for your boy Jordan, who's teamed up with veteran car owner and racer Robin Dawkins for this coming season. So that's cool. Robert Jordan, why doesn't pardon me, Premier Speedway sign USA drivers like Archerfield and Parramatta does each year? Would have thought the sell of the Classic would be an easy one. Is it lack of dollars or finding a Victorian team to run them? Robert, to answer your question, the Classic sells itself. I don't think, unlike Archerfield Speedway, and like Archerfield's got the Australian Open, which coincides with the World Series, Parramatta, Sydney's Valvoline Racer has got the busy Christmas New Year period, plus the ever-growing Scott Daly Challenge that's held in mid-January. So those events, so getting teams on board for those periods is crucial. With Premier Speedway, the Classic, it's just like the Knoxville Nationals this weekend. No one is going out there and getting paid to compete at the Knoxville Nationals. If you turn up, run. You don't want to be part of, don't be a part. And the Classic is Australia's version of the Knoxville Nationals. So, in the Classic, if you want to be part of it, come. You want to put yourself in the best chance. So, and as John Watton says, an experienced crewman, Premier doesn't have enough racing to entice US drivers. Yeah, fair call. That's another reason. So, in terms of the Classic, a lot of the American teams, go out there and try and get link up with teams or bring up. They rarely bring up their own gear. They usually just running for local teams. So, you've had a guy like Colin Bulmer, who's won the Classic in 2010 with Shane Stewart, taste success, and he's run numerous teams. He's run Terry McCall in the past as well. So the drivers that want to come out and run at Premier. And as John Watton says there, Premier doesn't have enough racing. They run just before Christmas traditionally. So that's around the December 20 period. Then they run January 1 as part of World Series. And then, they don't run up until the Classic. So, in terms of drivers, the Americans, if they want to compete the Classic, they do. There's no enticement for them money-wise to go through. So, so we've got there. Keep the questions going. We've got it's flying through this now. So 35 minutes. So 38 minutes. So I'm just looking on my phone and see what questions we've got. Okay. Right. Just one that's come in via Messenger. Do you believe that competitors should be allowed to choose between Andrew licensing and Speedo Australia license? Or it comes down to the tracks. If the tracks are sanctioned or under the insurance policy of Speedo Australia, then they've got a right to let who they want to into their track, sort of thing. So at the end of the day, they've got to protect, sort of thing. So I know all about the third line enforcement, but it all comes down to the track and who they choose, sort of thing. And they've got to protect themselves. So, so that's what it comes down to. Okay. Keep the questions going. We've got another about 21 minutes to go. Thanks everyone for tuning in, especially if you've missed earlier tonight. We had Tim Saville come in, the general manager of Speedo Australia. So we had an hour-long interview with him. He was really awesome, really open, transparent, and so it was great to have him. So you can catch that. Once again, this is really the Q&A Facebook Live's been really, really enjoyable. Really enjoying that. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm still getting views, so someone must be liking it. So I really appreciate the support and yeah, getting better and better with this live TV or whatever you want to call it. Live internet is not something I've done previously, but I enjoy it, and yeah, I love the challenge, and I love being out of my comfort zone. So yeah, but keep the questions rolling. Yeah, everyone, and throw any question at me. So I've already had Tim Savile in the hot seat. Who would you like me to interview? If I can't do it in person, I would love to be able to do it actually via like Facebook Live, but do it on speakerphone with a driver. So tell me, yeah, with that. So yeah, so we've got another question here for Robert Jordan. Thank you for your contributions. Okay, Robert Jordan. Why wouldn't a team like Casey Kane Racing bring out the team over here for a pre-season? Would it be cost effective for them to bring out their own equipment until they finish their tour? Well, they tend to do that. Like Steve Corn has got to deal with Casey Kane, so he brings him out. Brought him out last year, probably doing that again. So yeah, a lot of teams remember back in the Outlaws Down Under where they used to bring all their gear out. So Brian Healy got the deal to get them all shipped out here, so everyone, basically had their cars for sale after they finished racing them. So yeah, so that was a big thing, and that's I don't know whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. It certainly sold a lot of cars, but it certainly hurt a lot of the actual competitors, like the actual organisations that were selling parts and cars and that here. So it was hard when there was 20 cars coming into the country and then they were all sold there. So especially in Sydney, it really hurt them for that period, and everyone was thinking, the Outlaws Down Under, that's awesome. They'll sell all the gear here, but it really hurt the industry, particularly in Sydney, because they weren't selling the gear because it was all brought over here. They were paid to bring it over here and sell it off. So, with that. So teams are certainly, bringing stuff out here. And, with a lot of teams these days, you've got distributors or organised or companies that are importing cars and bringing them all in. There's guys that put stuff on Facebook saying, okay, who wants to chip in I'll bring a container, who wants to buy in. So that's cool. John wanted no red light stoppages at Powell Racer. I don't know about that, John. That'd be interesting. So, well, to not break curfew or something. So, so that'd be cool to have a meeting with no red light stoppages. So, no, that means no crashing. By the crashing, you just drive around. But Alan Smallwood, hi Daniel. Throw a question my way, Smalley. So I hope you're doing some great things over there, mate. So keep it up. So no, it's great to all the promotion that you're doing there for all the international drivers that are currently competing over in America, and also all the racing around here, particularly in your home state of Western Australia. So so we've got just over 15 minutes to go. So throw your questions here. John Watton cars, mate. It's not on the red, so. Well, some don't. So some do, some don't. Some forget to see lights. But no, keep throwing your questions my way. So Jeff, is Harley White coming back this year? Not 100% sure about that. She's currently competing at the Knoxville Nationals this weekend in the 410. She done really good when she came out here. So she's running for the Stryton team. Done really well, won a lot of fans, and as she said in her pre-race interviews, when she came out here, she goes, as a lot of people know her story, where she was severely burnt in an accident when she was just a kid, so just a young teenager. And she's got the physical scars to prove it. So, so in terms of her coming back, hopefully. She was a real big hit, done a lot of travelling. Come up and, people, and as she said, she didn't want her story to just define her sort of thing. So it's all about going out there and racing. She put on some great racing. It was really tough for her the first time that she'd been in a 410 sprint car. So for her to get into that, done really well, and she really, pushed it on. So, Mark Charge confirming, Chris Dovak, so Road Rash, there you go, mate. Fuel stoppage during races, what are your thoughts? If it's a long distance race, like we've got like where you've got the 50 lappers or things like the Knoxville Nationals, they had the pit stop. So that can be, it depends on certain events. I remember back in the day when they had red light stoppages and fuel would come out and all those things. That still happens now if it's open red. But, in terms of, fuel stoppage during red, probably on the major events, but yeah. I think, doing the endurance ride, like what Valvoline Raceway do, they introduced where they have a twin race and they have the pit stops and all the teams go out in the front straight. So I think that's pretty awesome to see, and it certainly adds calculations for different drivers because, you can be strong for one half, but then the second half it can change if you fuel load and tyres. So it's certainly interesting. So, I'd like to see it for big events, but not all the time. So. Yeah, I like drivers where you can come up to, you go back to you run what you brung, you get out there, even though if you're good or not. So that's racing to me. Robert Jordan again. Do you like our time trial /2 heats? So we have a USC supporters like short, sharp nights and saying racing coach. I was just having this conversation with Tim Saville, the general manager of Speedway Australia, earlier today. We were talking about that, and time trials, I don't know, it's more an American thing, and here in Australia it's monkey see, monkey do a lot of times when it comes to American stuff. It's really tough. I'd like to scrap time trials personally. I wouldn't, because I do a lot of damage to the track, and do the old school heats where fastest, like do the inversion, so fastest front, do that. But that's what I grew up on. I didn't have time trials when I was a kid in the 90s, so they had it selected for World Series. So I don't think, the fastest will get to the front regardless. A lot of points are banked on time trials, so if you have a bad time trial, you pretty much night can be over. There was guys that earlier this week at Knoxville where they didn't get a bad time, they just put it on the trail and just said, my night's done, sort of thing. So it can even make or break your night. It can, because there's so many points on time trials, that drivers just don't bother with it. They just go, they just don't put in a fight because they've had a time trial, and since the points of that geared towards it, you're stuck in the same main. So, but I agree, probably time trials for huge fields. I think, in the 60 plus, time trials sort of thing. But the Classic doesn't run time trials anymore. Like they've got 100 plus cars, so they're split in 2 nights. So that works. But time trials, I don't really, see the need for them. I think I like the racing, and it brings out the racing. The races out there. So Adam Day, what is your event of the season? National titles, Australian titles. I always like them, because they're the cream of the cream. I like that. So so any like sprint car title, that's cool. Late model title, street stock title, even junior sedans, it's awesome. Like the Australian title just gone at Mount Gambier's Borderline Speedway in South Australia. For the junior sedans, Nardi Jonic went in as the raging favourite, but then you had a guy like Angus Hollitz flew under the radar pretty much, and went out there and schooled them, won all his heats, put it on pole and dominated the feature. So that's pretty cool to see a guy like that, come through, and he's recently stepped into Formula 500s. So it'll be great to see. Hopefully he can progress. So Mick Lightside, can you answer my World Series question again? The internet dropped out. You'll be able to see that reviewed, but as Warren Cox saying, Lockie McHugh and Jai O'Keefe are the only contracted drivers announced at this stage. There is up to 20 that potentially could have contracts. They've all paid deposits, so it'll be interesting to see if all of them come. So the World Series is looking like the biggest season, season number 31 for World Series, and people were saying the World Series, doom and gloom, they wouldn't even reach the 30th. So it's certainly proving wrong with that. So Chris Road Rash Dolva, go back to the old big tanks, old school. Yeah, but then they do the weight and all that. So, yeah. So I've got there. So we've got another just under 10 minutes. So, yeah, keep the questions flowing. So, yeah, once again, I know I say this a lot, but, yeah, thank you. Thanks for all the support and just tuning in. I really enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to being able to speak to drivers, giving interviews. But I'd love to hear, like, please make a comment. Let me know who you would like me to interview next. Like, it's just a fun. If I can't get them into Sydney, I can get them on the phone, on the speakerphone. We can do the interview via Facebook Live. So, yeah, you name it, I'll do my best to get them to come onto this show, whether it's either live in person or over the phone on speakerphone. So either way, I'll bring in an answer, ask the questions, and really just give you an insight. You know, it's an amazing tool, social media, and having Facebook Live. You know, being able to have that and that engagement with people, and it's free. You know, no one has to pay for this. No one has to buy a Foxtel subscription. So. Yeah, so what we've got here, so Chris, how about Luke Oldfield? So Luke Oldfield, he was, he potentially could be one of the contractor drivers, so not sure, but he's certainly he's competing the upcoming Chariots over the next couple of weeks at Darwin's Northline Speedway, so he's running for Keith Phelps, the NT number 22 car. And he's going to be making a cameo appearance, so it'll be interesting. Luke's certainly, he's done his V8 modified days, does his sprint cars, he doesn't leave anything to chance, and really has a crack, and really, it's either win it or bin it sort of thing with Luke, and that puts on a show. You know, he's not out there to run second. So at least with Oldfield, you know, he's going to be 100% out there, and he ain't going to back off. So. Yeah, so hopefully, he's rumoured to be doing World Series as well. Yes, last night we announced the top 10 rankings for 410 sprint cars. So we did that. So, you can go to the Totally Speedo website, totallyspeedo.com.au, and you can see who we picked as the top performing drivers. Luke Oldfield is one of them. I'm not going to tell you where there. You can go to the website and check it all out. Certainly some interesting debate. A lot of people were fairly happy with it. I was surprised. Usually every rankings is always someone that missed out or someone's unhappy, but with the 410s, I think the team, we've done a lot of research to get our rankings, and people were fairly happy with that. You're not going to please everyone, but it's pretty awesome to be able to do that and get the support from people that agree with you. So, so we've got just under about 6 minutes to go. So I've got time for a few more questions. But, but as I said, let us know. Like this Facebook Live without you guys, I don't have Facebook Live. So, I need to actually get people on board and get them in for an interview on that. And that's where it comes out to you. Tell me who you want me to talk to. Tell me about what questions you would like me to ask. Because at the end of the day, this is all for you guys. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really being able to give a voice to the speedway industry. And so with that, so I'll just check my phone to see if we have any more questions that have come through from there. But so that, and so no, that's cool. But yes, please, I know I'm saying this a lot, but please, tell me who you'd like me to interview. I'm no one. I won't, hold back from anyone. So, really excited. So we've got about just over 5 minutes now. So, get those final questions in and I'll do my best to answer. But Knoxville Nationals, it's like I started the program, tonight's show, with that, and actually having them come on, like the Knoxville Nationals, it's just an exciting time. I'm looking forward to Sunday and seeing who'll be crowned. Fingers crossed that we can get an Australian across the line. That'll be awesome. Our best finishes being Kerry Madsen, who got second in 2015. And so it'd be awesome for him to be able to go one better. But don't discount the likes of his younger brother, Ian Madsen, you got Brooke Tatnall, you got Jamie Veal, James McFadden, all those guys. So it'll be awesome. Jamie Veal and James McFadden both drove really strong at last season's Nationals, so it'll be great to see them out there. In terms of picking a winner, a lot of people are saying Schultz, but I'd love to see a local team do that. So, yeah. So we've got like a local Knoxville team. So it'll be awesome to see Kerry Madsen, and there's no reason why he can't win. But you've got Blackjack Brian Brown. That'll be awesome too. So be awesome to see. Yeah, Brian Brown, he's ran second numerous times, and to see him go one better, that'd be awesome, just like Madsen. So yeah. So I'd love to see Kerry Madsen or Brian Brown if it's not an Australian. So yeah. So we've got a question here, Steve Wollstonecroft. Showcase tracks around the country. So Stephen, in terms of you'd like me to interview people that run tracks around the country, I'm assuming that's your question. But yeah, so just let me know. Jason, I'd like to hear from Brooke Tatnall. That's something that we can do once the Knoxville Nationals is over. We're just got to work out some times. I can get in contact with Brooke and see what we can do in terms of an interview. So just to see where everything's at and what he's got planned. So I think that would make captivating listening for everyone. So but Steve, I'd love to chat with different people. Like probably not for the hour to talk to a lot of people, but maybe we could do it teed up where I do interviews for 20 minutes with particular people. So but it's all up to you. Like a guy like Brooke Tatnall, we could chat for an hour. Kerry Madsen, all those caliber of drivers, and talk to Steve Green. We can talk to all these different people with that. So so that'll be pretty cool. But bring all your suggestions, and like it's a lot of fun doing this, and everyone's really embraced it, and it was great to have Tim Saville from Speedway Australia earlier tonight, so everyone can see that, so it's still there. So next week we're going to be back again, so for the 5th Totally Speedway Q&A Facebook Live session. Then we've got then I'll see what I can do in terms of getting another interview. So we had Tim, that was great to have him actually come into the office and do it live. That was awesome. But if we can't get it, we've always got a phone and technology. So so it's cool. So I've got a couple more, and then we've got John Martin saying Seb Johnston for World Series. So so that's cool. All right, so that's a few more questions I would like to hear. Also loved the Where Are They Now you did in the past. Yes, that was something that I did in the magazine, so that'd be cool. So doing short interviews with certain people. That doesn't look like it will get answered. Thanks, Mark Charge. Yes, John Watton, Seb Johnston. Sorry, just looking through here, Mark. In terms of your question, just trying to find it. Facebook does play silly buggers with me. So she wants to, Mark. So I'm just trying to. Can you tell me the dates at World Series? So just to recap that, Mark Charge. So we've got World Series rounds here. It's announced on the Latrobe Speedway website. So they're saying the World Series rounds is February 2nd and 3rd. So that's at Latrobe's Gulf Western Independent Oils Raceway. And then we've got the following weekend, that's the Saturday of February 10. That's the World Series round at Solo Hobart Raceway. So there'll be 3 nights of World Series action over the fortnight down in Tassie. And then the drivers will be off to Perth. So, so we've got that. Here's an idea. All good there. Okay, cool. All right, no worries, guys. Well, once again, thanks for call a night. So we've just got 10 seconds until. But thanks once again for everyone for tuning in. It means a lot, and it's great that it's well received from everyone. But if you've got any feedback, any further questions or anything, shoot them through. And until next week, I'll see you then. Stay safe. Cheers. Thanks. Bye.